These days, she might be an object of curiosity, even ridicule. Her comeback album 143 landed with a thud in late 2024, dismissed by critics and largely ignored by audiences. Her much publicised spaceflight, meant to be an empowering stunt, turned into meme fodder within hours.
Would you fancy going to space? You know, like Katy Perry did?
I think I've done enough.
And her new relationship with former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has sparked nearly as much interest as her music ever did. But that version of Katy Perry, the celebrity curiosity of 2025, risks making us forget the juggernaut she once was. 15 years ago, she didn't just dominate pop music, she redefined it. In 2010, with Teenage Dream, Katy Perry and Capitol Records engineered one of the most successful and strategic album campaigns in recent memory. 5 Hot 100 chart toppers from one original album, a record only one other artist in history had achieved, Michael Jackson with Bad. And to this day, they're still the only holders of that record. I'm Roger, your pop charts nerd, and today we're rewinding to the moment Katy Perry tied the king of pop. Because before the memes and the mockery, there was pop music mastery. And for a brief, glitter-drenched moment, she ruled the charts like no one else.
Let you put your hands on me, you must get tight. Jeans be your teenage dream tonight.
Before she was the queen of California girls, Katy Perry was Katie Hudson, a teenage Christian singer signed to a small faith-based label. That debut album, released in 2001, barely made a ripple. But the voice, the songwriting spark, and the hunger for stardom were all there.
You see my heart.
When the label folded, she moved to Los Angeles and started again, shedding her birth name, her sound, and her innocence. Years in development limbo followed, dropped by Ireland Def Jam, briefly at Columbia, until Capitol Records took a chance in 2007. That's where the real reinvention began. With breakthrough single I Kissed a Girl, she unveiled a persona both cheeky and polarizing, playful, rebellious, and perfectly timed for the YouTube age. It hit #1 for 7 weeks in 2008, introducing a pop figure who understood controversy as currency. Katy Perry wasn't just a singer now, she was a brand, and Capitol planned to make that brand unstoppable. After One of the Boys, her first album released as Katy Perry, made her a global name, Capitol wanted the follow-up to be bigger and last longer. According to Billboard, executives viewed Teenage Dream not as an album, but as a hit delivery system. The goal was endurance, to keep Katy visible across every platform. Top 40, Hot Adult Contemporary, Late Night TV, even the Super Bowl pipeline. They assembled a dream team: Max Martin, Dr. Luke, Benny Blanco, Stargate, the architects of early 2010s pop. Rolling Stone later called the result a seamless chain of hooks. It was pure optimism, nostalgia, and technicolor escapism, the perfect antidote to a post-recession world. Visually, Katy's pin-up meets pop art aesthetic made every single instantly recognizable. Behind the candy gloss was calculation, each release timed for maximal seasonal impact, alternating moods and tempos to prevent fatigue. This was marketing as art form. It's the summer of 2010, and Katy leads the rollout with California Girls, a sun-drenched West Coast response to Empire State of Mind. It debuted at #2 and hit #1 3 weeks later, staying there for 6. Capitol's tactic was textbook: drop a feel-good anthem just before summer, pair it with a playful Snoop Dogg cameo, and flood the radio playlists. Rolling Stone called it a Technicolor daydream engineered for pure joy, while Billboard praised its pre-summer precision. The Candyland video cemented her visual identity: camp, bright, and irresistibly memeable. It wasn't just a comeback single, it was a total relaunch of the Katy Perry universe.
California girls, we're undeniable. Fine, fresh, fierce, we got it on lock. West Coast represent. Now put your hands up. Oh.
The title track arrived that August, warm, euphoric, and built on yearning. It climbed to #1 for 2 weeks, becoming the emotional spine of the album. Where California Girls was playful, Teenage Dream was personal, a distilled fantasy of first love and freedom. The Guardian called it pop perfection, while Entertainment Weekly said it bottled the hormonal euphoria of adolescence. Capitol synced its release with the album drop, a 1-2 punch designed to dominate radio and retail simultaneously. The combination of nostalgia and cinematic songwriting made it feel timeless. By the end of summer 2010, Teenage Dream had already produced 2 #1s, and Katy's reign had only begun. Then came the masterstroke. As 2010 closed, Capitol pivoted the campaign from fun to feeling. Released in November, Firework shot to #1 for 4 weeks, powered by an inspirational message tailor-made for holiday playlists and talent show montages. The label invested heavily in its international rollout. A cinematic video filmed in Budapest, global TV tie-ins, and synchronized release dates across formats. NPR noted that Firework turned Perry from pop star to pop symbol, uniting radio audiences from teen to adult contemporary. It also solidified her cross-demographic appeal. Every demographic now had their Katy Perry song. Behind the scenes, Capitol knew this was key to sustaining a long campaign. They weren't just releasing singles, they were managing a multi-year narrative. By early 2011, most pop eras would be cooling off. Capitol did the opposite. They chose E.T., a moody electro-alien ballad, as the 4th single, and re-recorded it with Kanye West. The remix gave it new life, rap radio airplay, press buzz, and crossover appeal. It hit #1 for 5 weeks, propelled by heavy rotation and a sci-fi video that blended fashion and futurism. Billboard later credited the label's multi-format rollout, separate mixes for top 40 urban and dance formats, as key to its success. The move showed how agile Capitol's team was. Each single offered a new mood: joy, nostalgia, empowerment, now darkness. The campaign became its own storytelling arc, keeping Teenage Dream fresh a full year after release. By mid-2011, the Teenage Dream campaign was already record-breaking, 4 #1s deep and still rising. Capitol saw a chance to go for one more, the single that could make pop history. Last Friday Night, T.G.I.F, was a gleeful, chaotic ode to bad decisions and morning after flashbacks. The video was viral gold. Rebecca Black, Kenny G, Debbie Gibson, Corey Feldman, an 80s meets YouTube mashup built for replay value. It was nostalgia, comedy, and strategy rolled into one. With Last Friday Night hovering near the summit in August 2011, but not quite at it, Capitol made one last push: a new Missy Elliott remix, serviced to radio and digital on August 8. Critics immediately clocked the move as a strategic boost, paired with 69-cent discounting on iTunes, to tip the song over the line. The gambit worked. By the chart dated August 27, 2011, Last Friday Night finally hit number 1, sealing Katy's 5th from Teenage Dream. Industry watchers later pointed to these kinds of remix-driven surges as fuel for ongoing Hot 100 what counts as the same song debates. Nonetheless, in that moment, Katy Perry stood beside Michael Jackson. Not Madonna at her imperial peak. Not Whitney with Whitney or The Bodyguard. Not Janet with Rhythm Nation 1814. Not Mariah, whose chart dominance defined the 90s. And not in the streaming era, Taylor, Adele, Beyonce or Ariana. Even Michael's male successors, George Michael, Usher, Justin Timberlake, Bruno Mars, never managed it. It was Katy, once dismissed as the princess of bubblegum pop, who tied the king of pop. Billboard wrote, "The chart of crown consistency went not to a legend reborn, but to a pop dreamer with perfect timing." A woman equaled one of pop's most sacred records, and she did it in full colour. For one glittering moment, the dream was real. By late 2011, Capitol wasn't content with a tie. They aimed for history outright, 6 number 1s from a single album. Their pick, The One That Got Away, a wistful breakup ballad showing maturity amid the sparkle. Capitol pushed hard, a new remix with B.O.B., discounted iTunes pricing, wall-to-wall TV appearances. For weeks it hovered near the top and peaked at number 3, just shy. Katy told Billboard it would have been sweet to break it, but tying MJ's fine by me. Even in falling short, the attempt proved how deliberate the campaign was. Nothing about Teenage Dream was luck. It was timing, precision, and relentlessness. In March 2012, the campaign got one last boost. Capitol reissued the album as Teenage Dream, The Complete Confection, straight from the 1980s playbook. It added 3 new songs, including Part of Me, which debuted at number 1 on the Hot 100. Though technically part of a re-release, it unofficially gave the Teenage Dream era, if not the album in its original form, a 6th number 1. The follow-up, Wide Awake, peaked at number 2, stretching the cycle to 2 years. From May 2010 to August 2012, Katy Perry never left the Hot 100. By campaign's end, Teenage Dream had sold more than 6 million copies worldwide. But beyond sales, it marked the final major triumph of the pre-streaming era, when a label could orchestrate radio, digital sales, and videos into one continuous story. Capitol's model was from the tried and true playbook I've already covered about other artists. Release a new single every few months, each with a distinct emotion and marketing hook, maintaining momentum without oversaturation. Each single alternated tones: fun, heartfelt, bold, dark, then wild, giving audiences space to breathe while keeping the machine turning. No wonder Rolling Stone later called it a masterclass in how to turn an album into a 2-year pop phenomenon.
We'll be young forever. You make me feel like I'm living your teenage dream. The way you turn me on.
15 years on, Teenage Dream still sparkles as the high watermark of the pure pop era. It was the last time a traditional campaign could rule the Hot 100 by design, before algorithms and on-demand streaming took over. Katy's later albums, Prism, Witness, Smile, delivered hits, but never matched that sustained dominance. And in 2024, her comeback single Woman's World from the album 143 tried to recapture Firework's empowerment glow. It missed the mark. Variety said, "What once sounded triumphant now feels nostalgic for an era that's gone. The world and pop culture had moved on. Yet Teenage Dream endures, a monument to craft, confidence and precision. It proved that perfection can be manufactured, but authenticity makes it last. And through all the shifting trends, one fact remains. In the long history of the Hot 100, it was a woman who equaled Michael Jackson's impossible record. Today, Teenage Dream and Bad remain tied, 5 #1 singles each from an original studio album, a record that may never be broken again. 2 decades apart, 2 icons who turned the charts into playgrounds. And that's what makes Teenage Dream so remarkable. It wasn't just a streak of #1s, it was a masterclass in dreaming big and selling it beautifully. So, which run defines pop perfection for you? Michael's Bad or Katy's Teenage Dream? Let me know in the comments, and if you love stories like this, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Because pop history doesn't just happen, it's made one single at a time. Thanks for watching. I'm Roger, your Pop Charts nerd. Bye for now.